sure to join us tomorrow. Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul, the most honest guy in politics. Bring politicians around. He's a 12-term congressman from Texas and a Republican candidate for president of the United States. Ron Paul. Ron Paul. Please welcome Dr. Ron Paul. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's all for you. There you go. Can you quickly explain to folks what a brokered convention would be? Because it's been 50 years since we've really had one.
Yeah, it's all a canned convention. We used to send people over there that were uncommitted, and they'd work it out and pick a candidate. But a brokered convention means that nobody wins on the first ballot. So, and nobody gets eliminated. So they have to have a revote. But the big issue there is the committed delegates. See, there'll be delegates maybe committed to Mitt Romney, but the second go around, they're not committed to him. Then they can vote their conscience. Then I believe we'll get a lot of those.
Oh,
special interest, the most powerful special interest. But I think whether it's the state level or the federal level, you ought to do what's right. You ought to vote the Constitution. If you say you're for less government, you ought to vote for less government. That's why you get shortages. So a president can't do that. That would be the worst thing to do. What you need is sound money and free markets. And believe me, gasoline will be cheap. It'll harm. But they're in the same category. What you need to solve that problem, you have to get government there defending our liberties and not playing games and running the economy and policing our lives and pretending that we can run the world.
There you go, right there. Dr. Paul, we appreciate you being here. Oh, it's a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Frank Caliendo right after this.
All right, we're going backstage with Dr. Ron Paul, Frank Caliendo, and the Wanted. Let's go.
Hello, Dr. Paul.
Did we meet before?
Yes, we did. How was your experience this time different from the last time?
Well, it was great. It was very similar, but both times I thought it was great.
Yeah, and screaming girls aplenty out in the crowd, huh?
Yeah. They liked the music, too. Yeah. Too bad I didn't contribute to the music.
I got to ask you, out of all the things you talked about on the show and in your campaign, what's the biggest issue to you?
To me, it's limiting the government and maximizing individual liberty. And I got a few of those comments in, and the crowd responded well. That's what my goal in life is to make sure the government is small, and people are important, and people are seen as individuals and not part of a group.
Definitely. All right, we have some Jay Leno Facebook fan questions.
Okay.
Would you mind answering them?
We'll try.
All right, cool. Here we go. Sean wants to know, do you really think the elimination of the Civil Rights Act and all aid programs to the disabled would really not lead to problems?
Well, I think that's more complex. I just say to get rid of them is one thing, but I don't think it would lead to more problems because it can be handled different ways. I mean, I just don't like the federal government's getting involved. I don't like the United Nations getting involved, getting involved in education and all these things. Sure, there are different ways you can solve these problems without automatically thinking that you need much bigger government, more spending, and more bureaucrats. They don't solve our problems.
Cool. Well said. Last question here is from David Swift. That's David right there. He's our audio guy. Explain the Federal Reserve Transparency Act and why you feel it's important.
Well, they spend trillions of dollars. During the bailout period of time, they were involved with $15 trillion. They were bailing out domestic banks, domestic companies, foreign banks, foreign governments, and they wanted to do it in secret. And we want an audit. We want to know what they're doing, and we want to know why they're bailing out all their friends. And the American people are with me on this. I mean, their power is 10 times greater than what the congressional power is. So if we want to clean up our mess and rein in the corporations and the big spending, you got to have a transparency of the Federal Reserve System.
Cool. Thank you for explaining that. And also, you celebrated a big anniversary last month. Tell us about that.
Yes, we have. My wife and I have celebrated our 55th anniversary, and our first date was when she was 16, and she invited me, but she was born in leap year. She was only 4 when I first dated her.
Well, congratulations. And also, you said if you become president, you'll take a pay cut. How does your wife feel about that?
I haven't told her about that yet. So.
All right. All right.
Well, same thing. She probably had the same concern that she had when I gave up on the government pension fund. Since I didn't participate in that, that cut into it. So I'll just have to work a little while longer when I retire.
All right. Well said. All right. Thank you, Dr.
Very
Paul.
good.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and finally, coming Tuesday, Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney is going to be here. So that should be fun. No, see, I like it because you know, some of these candidates are a real pain in the ass.